Prize for now, but a very nice guy. We get on very, very well, which is good for the team. And yeah, if there's one thing that surprised me actually is the way we've been working together until now to help the team. I think this has been great for everyone back in Maranello. Yeah, this is good.
I think everyone coincides that we don't know where we are, especially in the midfield group, where 1/10 or 2/10 can be PE5 or it can be PE13. So to find out that last tenth from winter testing is impossible with all the engine modes and fuel that we run. But the feeling is that with the car, at least we've done the steps, we see the steps on the data, we see what we were trying to achieve, that we can replicate it in the track. So that at least gives us some encouragement. Now, have we improved the car enough compared to the opposition? Haven't moved on, or have they moved on a lot from last year? That's the questions that they need to answer tomorrow and qualifying and race day. And for that we only need 48 more hours, so let's be patient.
So the drivers are patient and in good spirits. Let's hear from their boss. Matteo Binotto is with Karun.
I've come down to Ferrari to find Matteo Binotto. Matteo, thank you for joining us. First of all, how was testing for you?
How was testing? I think it was fruitful in a way that we made a lot of mileage. We made the entire program that we planned to do. So a lot of data analysis post-session. I think that was very useful to prepare ourselves for the entire race season, but certainly for this race weekend. In terms of lap time, I think it's very difficult to judge. Obviously only 3 days. The weather was very variable, so we had a very hot situation on the very first days, a lot of sand on the track, a lot windy, and it improved on the following days. But as well during the day itself, the track was somehow changing a lot due to the hot conditions and the ambient temperatures. So very difficult, I think, to judge really in terms of performance assessment. I think more important for us, as I said, was really to look at our data. We know that the car is behaving somehow as expected, which is important. That's the important baseline for the rest of the season.
So we've obviously got a new driver lineup at Ferrari with Carlos. How did he get on? How has his integration with the team been?
Very well, very positively surprised. So we knew that he was a strong driver, that he would be fast. I think fast as well on the long stint, bringing some experience, because now even if he's very young, he's an experienced driver in F1. But I think he's going very well with Charles. He's going very well with his team. He has well integrated, very positive and mood. And I think it's fresh air, and sometimes fresh air is required, is what we are looking for, and in that respect, very happy.
And finally, you've got the data, you know where you were compared to last year, for example, with the PU and your drag issues that we know. What's the expectations? What would be deemed as a good season for Ferrari? Back to third at least, or where do you think your expectations are?
As I said, it's very difficult to judge, but what can be judged for us positive? I think as first, the will to win. That doesn't mean that we will win at all. We know that we got very strong competitors, and the teams that we were very strong last year will still be very strong. So for us, I don't think there is any way to somehow to close the gap. But the will to win is a matter of mentality. And mentality is showing that we can progress, that we can improve in all the details. Not only the speed on track, but can be the pit stops, can be team organization, strategy. So it's really making sure that in terms of overall teams, we are progressing and we are doing better, learning from lessons. So expecting certainly a better position in terms of Constructor Championship at the end of the season. No doubt, we said last year has been the worst year since 1980. So we have to do better, but even more, I think, to showing progresses.
Thank you very much. Good luck for the season.
Thank you. Bye.
So Ted, learning lessons, making progress, but it needs to come soon. They need to hit the ground running, don't they? They've got an improved package. How confident are you that they'll do just that?
Well, good old Matteo Binotto. He's all with the catchphrases, isn't he? A breath of fresh air needed, the will to win, all of this stuff, but they do need it, don't they? Because, as he says, not since 1980 have they been below 5th in the Constructors' Championship. In fact, in 1980 they were well below that. But they've got a new rear suspension, they've got a new rear wing as well, they've got a new engine, a new car. Is it going to be enough to lift them into the top 3? That's the big question. I don't think so on the evidence of testing, but all the other teams don't really know where Ferrari are. What I have been impressed with, I don't know whether you picked up on this, Paul, is how quickly Sainz has settled into the car. We hear Sebastian Vettel saying, oh, I need a couple of races to get comfortable. Sergio Perez, ditto. Sainz, straight in there, setting the second quickest or third quickest time of winter testing behind Verstappen and Yuki Tsunoda. He's been right up to pace so quickly.
Yeah, he has, and I think what Ferrari were able to do is integrate him into the team very quickly. They've done a lot of running in old cars, but that shows what their history is. The biggest impact I've got walking in the paddock here, though, they don't deserve to be down this end of the paddock. It's a long walk from Mercedes, and that's not normally where you see the red overalls of what Ferrari are. But listen, they've got two young guns up against it. The dynamics of them needs to gel together. They need to see the bigger picture. Working together is going to lift them, elevate that team back to the front, and I want to see them back up there. I want to see them at the front, and I want to see them pushing the likes of Red Bull, Mercedes, McLaren, who are obviously a step in front at the moment.
You're not alone in wanting that, Paul. OK, now to Alfa Romeo. Kimi Räikkönen posted the 4th fastest time in winter testing, and after 20 years in the paddock, he goes to show that he hasn't lost his sense of humour.
All right, Kimi, first day back at school?
It's not really school, but maybe for you, not for me. So.
How are you feeling about it?
If it would be school, I wouldn't be here. So.
Excited?
I think nobody really knows where everybody is, and it's a bit, I think first race is always more unknown for that part, so probably that gives a bit more excitement, but you know, it's back to, let's say, more normal business tomorrow, and then we'll find out on Saturday where we are.
I'm happy with how the test went and how the car felt. Of course, still only testing, so we don't know the others what they did. But we are happy with our side, you know, with the power unit as well, and with the car. We need to just waiting, another few days to understand where we are.
Okay, and they changed the nose, they changed the front suspension. Teams say that's where they spent their development attention, their tokens. Can you feel it? Has it made a difference? Can you feel the downforce loss as well?
To be honest, I expected more from the loss of the downforce. For this, I felt straight away quite comfortable with the car since day one. Front looks stronger than last year. So yeah, everything worked quite well. Everything is quite positive. Also, the color ratio with the wind tunnel and everything. So we are happy so far, but we need to wait to qualify to understand.
Okay.
Well, Ted, Kimi says he wouldn't be there, he wouldn't be here if he was going back to school. But I think the key thing, but the point is, he is continuing to learn, and he's showing an appetite for it. That's why he's still in the sport.
41 years old, or young, we should say, but he's still in absolutely tip-top physical shape. He did 3 Bahrain Grand Prix distances in one day on the last day of testing. I asked him about it today. I said, weren't you knackered? Didn't Mark Arnold, your trainer, have to, release your neck after a winter of not doing anything, really? He said, you know what, this isn't a very physical track. So actually, I didn't have any problems. Don't know if that's your experience from around here, Paul, but, he's still got the speed. And actually, I think it could be the battle of the Alphas this year. Alpha Tauri and Alfa Romeo, I think, on the long runs, very close.
Well, Alpha Tauri was certainly looking great in testing, weren't they?
Absolutely exceptional. I think when you, the DRS issue that they had with Tsunoda on his fastest laps is very hard to gauge. But when you saw the car on board and how they pushed, any car that can get the second quickest time with a rookie as well, exceptional job. And it's nice to see the team like that pushing up, and Gasly was no slouch last year either. He's absolutely on top form, and I think if he has another year like this, you'll see him in another team probably quite soon as well.
OK, well, talking of rookies, we have 3 of them on the grid this year. Let's hear from them right now, starting with Yuki Tsunoda.
No, definitely I'm very excited about the weekend. It's great to be here. First race, obviously. Just really excited, looking forward to it. It's been a lifelong dream, and it's really coming true now.
Everything has been coming on nicely. I obviously had to make sure that my body is ready to take on the challenge of driving Formula 1 cars, not only for testing this time, but also for quality driving of FP1, 2, 3, and then quality and then race. So loads of training, but I'm ready to start my Formula 1 weekend with positive attitude and an open mind.
I'm rookie. Like I said, I don't have much experience, so I push hard, and I feel like I'm not afraid about the mistakes. Like mistakes makes me better. Always that mistake experience is really good things to improve my driving or race. So I'm not afraid about mistakes. Just push hard, and until the middle of the season maybe. And from mid of the season to the end of the season, maybe I'll try to put all together and more to focus to more consistency. But for now, to the middle of the season, I just push hard and yeah, I see what's going to happen.
Well, clearly we finished with Yuki Tsunoda. They're not starting. That was Mick Schumacher. Of the three, Ted, who excites you most?
I think Mick Schumacher and Yuki Tsunoda are great prospects. Nikita Mazepin is a good driver. He's going to show us what he can do this year. But Yuki Tsunoda, Anthony Davidson, who knows a thing or two about Japanese drivers, thinks he's going to be the best ever Japanese driver. So yeah, Tsunoda's got a lot to live up to.
Wow. How hard will it be, though, for Haas to have two rookies? I mean, they've already said they're not going to develop throughout the year, and actually their strongest car is going to start the year when their drivers are at their least experienced.
Extremely difficult in the sense how they push each other, how they, they foresee where the track's going to be, how it's going to rubber in, what they need to expect from the car from an FP3 session on Saturday afternoon.